Diego, what exactly is Consulting 2.0 and why it represents a turning point for the industry?
Well, Consulting 2.0 is the name that we came up with in order to represent all these very disruptive changes that we are seeing in technology, of course, led by AI. We believe that a lot of things are converging together into generating a new way of doing things. We cannot keep justifying long projects with unclear return of investment. So now we need to change things and do smaller and shorter cycles with progressive value adoption. And to do that, there are a number of different things that we are doing. And some of those come from years before, such as software as a service that we use, such as SuiteApps, in order to, as we were mentioning, increase the quality of the implementation and decrease the amount of errors. We also have templates, methodologies, processes, such as Suite Success, for instance. And we have bundles of different analytics that are reusable by industry, by sector, by roles that help us to become more efficient when we implement and give a better return of investment for our customers. And of course, all that is combined now with AI, which ensures us to have even smaller and faster cycles to get to the value added of the implementation final to the customer.
Okay. And this productization of services, how do they translate into benefits for our clients?
Well, I think it's very direct. We actually had a couple of communication instances this year in order to ensure that everyone is aware. For instance, we had a breakfast at Buenos Aires that you led, where we discussed with partners, friends, Oracle, and different customers about the role of AI, specifically in NetSuite, of course, but in different industries and how each industry is using the AI in order to benefit. And then we also had a webinar last month where we discussed also the usage of the different layers that NetSuite is providing in order to use AI in your daily operations. And yeah, I think it's everywhere, right? And we need to make the most out of it, depending on who you are sitting in which position as well.
AI is described as a recent revolution sometimes, but what was needed before in the past decades that led us where we are today?
Yeah, we often think about AI as ChatGPT emerged in 2022. And I think that was mainly the end of decades of investigation. In fact, the AI concept has decades before even the cloud technology. So I think what happened in 2022 is that three different things converged. First, we have the massive computing processing capability that we have today on the cloud. And then all the advances that we have on deep learning. And last and most important for us is the huge amount of digitalized information on the cloud as well that was brought by 2 decades of bringing all the information of the companies onto the cloud. So, yeah, I think as we normally say, AI is as good as the data that it has access to. And yeah, it was crucial to have these 2 decades pioneered by Oracle and its infrastructure in order to bring it to this point.
We see NetSuite incorporating continuously new native AI capabilities. How do these functionalities help our clients make better decisions?
I believe what we are seeing is a new era for ERPs, which NetSuite is leading as well, with disruptive content and disruptive new AI applications on their ERP platforms. We have different layers where we see the value. For instance, some of the features that we have seen lately that are increasing a lot the efficiency in our customers' accounts are Bill Capture, which allows you to process huge volumes of data and import them into your ERP in forms of bills. Then we have the SuiteAnalytics Assistant, which is a great tool for you to ask as a human in natural language, why my immersion dropped last quarter, for instance, 30%. And then you have a nice looking report with a nice graph together with the paragraph or something generated real time, explains why that happened. And third, for instance, we have the financial exception management, which our customers are using a lot to detect anomalies in the purchase process. That's great because you can fix an issue before it actually happens. Another layer, for instance, is the MCP connector layer, which for me, I'm a declared huge fan because I'm seeing a lot of value. I have my currently Anthropic Claude account connected, but you could use your favorite LLM and get all the information from your NetSuite account, CRM, ERP, all the data into reports, analytics, dashboards, anything you want, real-time questions, and everything is deployed within seconds. So that's amazing. For executive roles, you can transform data into action real time. Then, and I think this is the most important from a conceptual standpoint, is the NetSuite Next phase, which we are already seeing on our accounts deployed. And what this brings is this new era that I was mentioning before, right? The concept of importing data or looking into your manual processes, I think it's gone. And now what we are looking forward is, well, agents that react, reason, and act to our data previously imported there. So we already have suggestions. We already have Q&A kind of features where we could actually deploy acts really, really fast. And the idea is doing that faster than our competition.
Diego, how do you think this technology will impact businesses in the future?
Well, we try to be positive change agents somehow from our humble position. We know all the challenges that comes with such a disruptive technology such as AI. And what we want and we are really actually motivated about is taking the most out of it to give value to small and medium-sized businesses. And we understand that this technology, one of the good things that does is democratize solutions for smaller businesses in order to implement with more dynamism. So we know that for corporations it will be a little bit harder to implement such a disruptive change that small and medium-sized businesses. So that's where we want to live. We want to be helping businesses to grow and to implement faster, sophisticated technological solutions that were reserved for a few some years ago. I think that the competitive advantage that used to be information now is acting fast. We already have the information. We already have the automated processes, if you will. Now the new advantage is actually acting faster than your competition and get that recommendation from AI or actually getting an agent to reason and act with the information that you hold on your ERP is actually amazing right now. And that's where we are helping our customers to thrive as well.
I'd like to ask you now, Diego, about the role of the human in all this. As AI takes over the most automatable and repetitive tasks, what's the main added value that can be offered by our senior consultants?
I think this is the most important question today. And in my opinion, consultants were never intended to be cleaning spreadsheets, right? Our work should be strategic for our customers. So I believe what makes us humans, empathy and motivation is the differentiator here from technology, that we have the humans in order to make it to the next level, right? And for instance, being able to sit down with the customer and have a nice conversation about their problems, their bottlenecks, a plan for the next 1 to 5 years, where the business is headed, where the industry is headed as well, identify the main issues on the road and create a plan, then implement said technology, implement the processes and the automations that will get us there, and optimize those processes along the way. And also change management, right? We have different generations now being involved with very disruptive technology, as we know. And I think it's crucial to have people that are well informed and what's the benefit for each role in the company. Also, I think that we should respect, and we try to do it a lot here in Blue River Consulting, respect the special sauce, what makes our customers actually successful, right? So we have all the good practices of the industry, all the best practices that we know out of hundreds of projects that we have delivered. And we want to bring that to the table for the customer to use. Absolutely. But we also need to respect their competitive advantage as well, which is their special sauce. And we may want to create a custom feature only for that, exploit the most out of that, and combine that with the best practices in the industry. I think that's where the most value is. And that's what we can do as humans, in combination, of course, with technology.